We are hearing from a witness who, heard and saw all of this unfold. Let's take a listen to what they had to say.
Around 3:15, we heard a pop, 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 pop sound, followed by a sound that sounded like fireworks going off, like a big firework all at once. And it turned out that was the crash. Um, so that pulled us out of bed. Peeked through the curtains to see, what was going on. And at that point, we saw cops all over the place, stacking up, rifles trained on the car. So, peeking through the windows, we kind of backed away to make sure that the situation was okay. Saw the cops telling people in the other buildings, like, stay inside, stay inside.
Yeah, that witness there describing what he thought initially were fireworks, only to find out, as we just heard from Aaron, that there were gunshots. I do have another witness on the phone. Jimmy, are you with us? Can you briefly just describe what you heard, what you saw? Take us through everything that you witnessed on Bourbon Street there.
So Bourbon Street, like he said, probably about 3:10 a.m. We were heading towards Canal, which is the way the truck was coming towards us. We ducked off into a nightclub because we weren't sure what was going on at the other end, and it looked like just nothing we wanted to see. So we just ducked off into a club. By the time we got in, 5 girls had ran in frantically and hid under chairs. So us knowing where we were, we ran upstairs to the balcony to make it less available if something was following inside. And what we witnessed was body after body mangled, just as far as you could see. We counted 10, and at least 6 were instantly, clearly deceased. And they were trying to get everybody just to stay inside, but everyone had just completely disappeared. Like, after these people ran over, I think we were the only ones outside on the balcony, and we took video just for the sheer shock. Like, you don't see stuff like that on city streets. Yeah. And just no one was helping them. Like, that was kind of the first crazy thought we had, is why is no one helping them? They wouldn't let us out. And obviously, like I told you, some were very clearly deceased, but others were yelling out. And it's a lot to process.
Yeah, and I can hear that shock in your voice. Obviously, this had to be horrific to witness. I mean, I imagine that you were there celebrating, with your friends, your loved ones, ringing in the new year, and then to see and to watch all of this unfold. What was going through your mind, Jimmy?
Shock. Like, it looked like something out of a movie, the way these bodies were mangled. And we had just seen this one girl outside dancing when we were walking up, and not to be too graphic, but she was flattened. Like, this was a full-size F-150 4x4, and this girl didn't even look human. And then another one had to be a mother. She was dead in front of us, right at my feet, just twisted, skull. I mean, I could just keep going. Another gentleman, he was for sure deceased. He actually had tire tracks over his stomach and back when they were trying to finally check on him. And another woman had got her legs pinned when he run her over. Half her body was on the street, half her body was on the curb. So she obviously was very broken, but still breathing at that moment.
Yeah.
These people are never going to wake up.
Yeah. Pure shock and the panic there that you just described, Jimmy, is so heartbreaking. I'm so glad that you are okay, and hopefully those that were with you and around you are okay as well. Jimmy, thank you for sharing that.
Okay, so we now have a lot of new updates in regard to the terrorist attack that happened in New Orleans early this morning. And yes, I am calling it a terrorist attack now because the FBI has confirmed they are investigating it as a terror attack. Now, one of the things that we know is now the person who was driving that truck. And that individual was 42-year-old Shamsud Din Jabbar. Authorities are also investigating the truck itself, trying to determine if it even belonged to the suspect, which they said appears that probably not, that it could have been stolen, borrowed, or rented. They're also saying that the suspect was wearing body armor at the time of the attack. Now, the other things I can tell you at this moment are that the totals are as follows: 10 people dead, and now we have 36 people at least who are injured. There are also still, as we speak, as I record this, bodies still on Bourbon Street as they're still investigating that scene. On top of that, authorities are still sweeping the French Quarter looking for explosive devices. Apparently, they have found some man-made ones. Apparently, a couple have been detonated, it sounds like, by police, because small explosions had been heard earlier this morning. Now, initially, there was a press conference scheduled for about 45 minutes ago, but they did delay that. So we are still waiting on that press conference to get more information. And once we have all that information, of course, I will be back on to update you guys with whatever that is. That being said, make sure to hit that follow button if you don't already. Drop your thoughts about all this in the comments, so this puts it out to the FYP and spread the word around. This is just an absolutely horrific way to start 2025.
Good evening. I'm Shamsuddin Jabbar, property manager with Blue Meadow Properties and team lead at the Midas Group at Core Realty. I just want to say hello and let you know a little bit about me. So I'm born and raised in Beaumont, Texas, and now live in Houston. And I've been here all my life. With the exception of traveling for the military, where I spent 10 years as a human resources specialist and IT specialist, where I learned the meaning of great service and what it means to be responsive and take everything seriously, dotting I's and crossing T's to make sure that things go off without a hitch. So I've taken those skills and applied them to my career as a real estate agent, where I feel like what really sets me apart from other agents is my ability to be able to, one, be a fierce negotiator. So not only do I brilliantly market your property to make sure it gets sold as quickly as possible or gets leased as quickly as possible, but I'm also going to take every ounce of energy and putting it into negotiating for you and for your property to get the best deal that you can possibly get for it. So once we get to the closing table, all the I's are going to be dotted, all the T's are going to be crossed, everything's going to go off without a hitch, and that is my word that I'm giving to you as your real estate agent.
A serious situation out of New Orleans where at least 10 people have been killed after somebody plowed into a crowd on Bourbon Street. For the very latest, I want to bring in NBC News correspondent Emily Aketa, who is joining us now. And Emily, you can see the emergency vehicles, the emergency response there in New Orleans as people had been celebrating New Year's Eve.
Yeah, that's right, Hallie. A massive police response to a mass casualty incident, as the city is reporting just moments ago, posting a statement to its website reporting that 10 people have been killed, 30 others injured and transported by emergency services after, they say, a vehicle rammed into a large crowd celebrating overnight. It was near Bourbon Street and Canal Street, a hotspot, a tourist hotspot in the city of New Orleans and in the French Quarter. We are still waiting for more details on the suspected driver, the status of that individual, but we are hoping for a news conference in the next few hours to get more information on this.